Hello everyone. Welcome to RostrumLegal Portal YouTube channel. And today we shall be discussing about. Good morning, Taran. Today we shall be discussing about the cryptocurrency and cryptography. So you must be having an idea about cryptocurrency and cryptography. Am I audible and visible to you people properly? Good morning, Saksham. Okay, so today we shall be discussing about the cryptocurrency and cryptography. So can you give me a little idea about the cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is? What is a cryptocurrency? Any idea about the cryptocurrency and cryptography? It's a virtual asset. Cryptocurrency is a virtual asset. It exists virtually. If you have any idea about, see, Taran has commented a newly evolved virtual currency that is stored in a wallet that thrives on blockchain technology. Very good, Taran. Now you have encoded your definition in jargons. Jargons means in very technical words. But can you people simplify it for the sake of understanding? See, it's a newly evolved virtual currency, that's all right. A newly evolved virtual currency that exists. Virtually means that it does not exist in its physical form. It's a virtual asset. Okay. And how this is played, it works on a blockchain technology. Okay. Now this is a currency. The owner of these virtual currencies have not yet been ascertained. There is no central authority that regulates or governs the cryptocurrency. Okay, but still countries like India have tacitly or indirectly, recognized it by making it a taxable activity. Okay, it's a digital currency designed to work as a medium. Yes. So cryptocurrency is any currency that virtually exists. Cryptocurrency uses cryptography to secure and maintain transactions. The legal validity of cryptocurrencies is still not declared by the government of India. At the request of RBI, the government made a bill in 2021 to ban the holding and operations of cryptocurrency in the whole country. It gained a lot of disagreement from the members, but from the recent actions of the government, it can be seen from the announcement of the union budget for the financial year 2022 to 23. They have taxed the trading of virtual assets at 30%. Does that ring a bell? Yes, it is right. And the goal of digital India can be furnished by the launch of the digital rupee by the RBI. The whole question is that you must be having, I guess you must be having a little idea how the share markets work, how the share market works. The share market works like there are a lot of fluctuations and lot of factors involved in the rising and falling of the value of shares, okay, of one particular company. There are so many tactics and gimmicks which are played behind rising, taking the price of the shares of one company and bringing down the prices of the shares of the another company. Now the shares market, then the money market, how they are played, the people invested in it. When the price of the shares, it rises up, it goes up, they are sold at a higher price, and then everybody involved in the whole transaction has its own shares of profit. That's how the share markets and the money market, they work. That's exactly, something which is now being played virtually. Okay, and the assets are different. These are not shares. The assets are different. They have a different name, they have a new technology, and they are completely existing virtually. So this is cryptocurrency. Works on a blockchain technology. What people used to do, and what people do in share market, they invest money in the share market, they purchase some shares. When the shares of those companies, they go up, it rises up, the prices of those shares rises up, they are sold at a higher price, and whatever the profit is made out, whatever the profit is earned, it is shared between all the people involved in the whole chain of investment. Okay, everybody has its own share of profit. Okay, that's what people used to do physically. Now cryptocurrency is something which is, the whole system is same, but it stands modified in terms of technology, because it is now completely virtual. There is a blockchain technology, that is a technology which is absolutely virtual. Okay, the assets are virtual this time. Okay, it does not exist in physical form. Okay, then there are so many kinds of currencies like bitcoins. Okay, there are typical names also. The thing is that we have central legislations, we have statutory bodies that regulate the share market and the money market. But surprisingly, cryptocurrency is not owned or controlled or regulated or managed by any central authority. Okay, it is not recognized. The central authority that regulates it or manages it is not recognized. The question is that countries like India have not legalized it by bringing a separate act. They have directly, taxed any transaction in cryptocurrencies at 30%. Now this taxing it, making it a taxable activity, has indirectly legalized the activity in activities or transactions in the cryptocurrency. Okay, they have indirectly, this is a kind of a de facto affirmation. This is a kind of a de facto affirmation that cryptocurrencies are legally safe in India, because any activity, for example, if tomorrow government taxes, government puts a tax on, starts collecting tax on gambling. So what do you think? If the government starts collecting tax on gambling, will gambling be legalized? Yes, it can be said that this is going to be a de facto recognition of gambling as a legal activity, albeit we might not be having any direct legislation or a separate specific particular legislation or law or statute that legalizes gambling or decriminalizes it. Now this is going to be a de facto affirmation that indirectly, if the government taxes it or makes it a taxable activity, then definitely it will be a de facto affirmation that it is a legal activity. People will then be, will then get a de facto affirmation that it is safe to enter into gambling. Now cryptocurrency has the same fate, has met the same fate, that in the union budget of financial year 2022 to 23, the virtual assets, the trading of virtual assets was taxed at 30%, although the critics say that the 30% value of tax on the virtual assets is too high. Now this is going to discourage people from entering into the investment in the virtual assets. This is certainly going to discourage the people from investing in cryptocurrencies, because 30% is too high. 30% is too high. That is the highest taxation slab that can be put. Now perhaps people have been indirectly discouraged by the government in investing in it, because these are the initial years of cryptocurrency. People are not making much profits. And cryptocurrency is always, like every share market or money market, was subject to market risk. Okay, so this 30% taxation is going to discourage people from investing in the cryptocurrency, right? Now this is a sort of indirect launch of digital rupee by the RBI. Cryptocurrency is virtual. It is a digital asset. You can't hold it in your hand or show it to your friends. It is a way of earning than the stock exchange to a wide range of people. Most students invest in crypto, even though it has many risk factors. It also has a higher chance of paying back their investments. You need proper network security before you proceed with trading cryptocurrencies, as the scams and hacks might happen right from your computer without your knowledge. Okay, a payment service that doesn't need any bank verification is cryptocurrency. Okay, a payment service that doesn't need any bank verifications. What happens in a money market? That if you're buying securities, if you're buying government securities, if you are investing money in government securities, or if you are taking loan in huge amounts from the bank or banking institutions or the banking companies, you often your transactions or your taking of money or any transaction is recognized or verified by the banks through various documents like bank receipts. Okay, now all those transactions are recorded in different kinds of ledgers. A payment service that doesn't need any bank verification is cryptocurrency. But what happens in cryptocurrency, what happens in share market? They are not subject to any bank verifications. Any investment in the share markets is not subject to any bank verifications. Yes, investments in the money market, they are subject to bank verifications. Okay, and like the share market, the cryptocurrency also does not need any bank verification. Now there are so many comments. Let me read. Aditya Bakshi says that El Salvador has given cryptocurrency the status of legal tender. Saksham says it is a good type of investment. Yes, Aditya Bakshi says you don't know the underlying asset of cryptocurrency. Any investment in an asset which derives its value from an unknown source is highly risky. Okay, so Aditya Bakshi, what are you trying to say? And what is the new thing that you have told me? That you don't know the underlying asset of cryptocurrency. Okay, then tell me, what is the underlying asset of cryptocurrency? Any investment in an asset which derives its value from an unknown source is highly risky. That's what I told in the beginning of the lecture, and that's what I'm reiterating since I have started. So what is the new thing that you are telling me? And what is the thing that I don't know? Perhaps I might not know many things about cryptocurrency. So tell me, please enlighten us, Aditya. Aditya Bakshi will enlighten us on the underlying asset of cryptocurrency. Come on, do it. I told it right in the beginning of the lecture that it is not recognized, it does not have any central authority. Okay, Aditya is telling, for example, if you buy the shares of a particular company, then you have access to its quarterly results and reports. This gives you a fair idea about what's going to happen in the future regarding the share prices of the said company. Okay, so what is the new thing that you are telling me? I made a small comparative analysis in the beginning of the lecture between cryptocurrency and the share markets. And that's what I told you right at the beginning, that cryptocurrency is not centrally regulated and this is going to be highly risky. And also, if the government is putting 30% tax on any transaction in the cryptocurrency or in the any virtual assets, this is also again going to discourage people at a mass scale from investing in the cryptocurrency. Obviously, a payment service that doesn't need any bank verification is cryptocurrency. Regulatory authority and determination of the value of an asset is different. Okay, so when did I say they are not different? The share markets, the prices in the share market, they are regulated by a central, obviously the activities, they are supervised and regulated by the central legislation. There are statutory legislations regarding that. Okay, there is a SEBI. Okay, that's you wanted to add. That's good, Aditya. But what is the comment that you have posted? You don't know the underlying assent of cryptocurrency. What were you trying to say? What were you trying to say? I don't call myself any apostle who have ascended from the skies to who knows everything. I might not know many things about one topic or most of the things. That doesn't mean. Okay, Aditya, let it be. A payment service that doesn't need any bank verification is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency uses cryptography, which makes it anonymous on who knows what. Cryptocurrency uses encryption to ensure the safety of transaction. All the details will be available in a public ledger. This currency is stored in digital wallets. In fact, the first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which was released in 2009. It is known as one of the best cryptocurrencies to date. Ethereum was launched in 2015. It is the second most popular cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. Now, how they are built? Cryptocurrencies are built through blockchain technology. Blockchain is something that can bring transparency to the system of virtual currency. They work through a decentralized public ledger in which the holders can record transactions. It brings value to a long-term store. Creating a cryptocurrency might cost you anywhere around $2,000 to $5,000. It usually takes 1 to 6 months to develop a cryptocurrency from scratch. But if you base another and create one, it might take a few weeks to come into functioning. Okay. Now, blockchain is something, what is the underlying feature of the blockchain technology? The blockchain technology works through a decentralized public ledger. Decentralized public ledger, because we do not have a central authority that regulates or monitors the transactions in the cryptocurrency. So there's going to be, if there had been a central authority, the primary job of that central authority would have been to maintain the public ledger and or create a record of all the transactions. Create a record of all the transactions happening in the virtual currency. But that is not the case, since this is not centrally regulated activity. So the public ledgers are also decentralized. Okay. Now this is a transparent technology. Now blockchain technology is invented by Stuart Haber and W. Scott in 1991. Blockchain is a chain of recorded transactions, a digital public ledger maintained widely by the investors or developers who verify these transactions. Blockchain lets cryptocurrency trading be transparent and accessible to everyone. These transactions can be tracked by anyone and the entries are irreversible. It is hard to change the data or alter the transactions in a blockchain. Blockchain technology is a chain of recorded transactions. It's a digital public ledger maintained widely by the investors or developers who verify these transactions. Okay. Blockchain lets cryptocurrency trading be transparent and accessible to everyone. Okay. Now it is a transparent and accessible to everyone. It is a digital public ledger. What we maintain in hard forms like hard assets. We have public ledgers or subsidiary public ledgers which are maintained for recording the transactions in investments or in the money market. Now this is going to be a digital public ledger. Now this blockchain technology was invented by Stuart Haber and W. Scott in 1991. It's a chain of recorded transaction, a digital public ledger maintained widely by the investors or developers who verify these transactions. Now, what is going to happen in the blockchain technology, that the seller of one virtual currency is going to see that the virtual currency or the value of it is being transferred to the buyer of that virtual currency. And this is going to happen virtually. There is a blockchain technology. This can be seen that the value of one virtual currency is moving from one person to another person, and this transaction can be recorded and verified by the investors or the developers who verify these transactions. Now everybody can see that virtually happening on their screens. Now this is blockchain technology, and that's how much transparent it is. Blockchain technology is also used in the NFT ecosystem. The blockchain process includes a new transaction and a network of computers that solve the equations to confirm the transaction. Once confirmed, it is permanently added to the block. These blocks consist of a cluster of transactions that are hard to break and alter. Okay. Now, this is used in the NFT ecosystem. NFT ecosystem means blockchain process includes a new transaction and a network of computers that solve the equations to confirm the transaction. Okay. Includes a new transaction and a network of computers that solve the equations to confirm the transactions. Okay. Now there are a network of transactions which are happening over a network of computers. They're solving the equations because there are a lot of algorithms in the blockchain technology. I cannot exactly tell you how this works and how this looks and how this actually people are, how this is conducted. Okay, now there are a lot of set of questions. Okay, there is a set of questions. There is an algorithm which every investor has to go through. If he wants to indulge in any transaction, he has to go through the algorithms, solve the equations to confirm the transactions. Once that transaction is confirmed, it is permanently added to the block. Now what that block contains? That block contains a cluster of transactions. That means all the transactions are recorded. Once the transaction is being confirmed, every transaction that is being confirmed is being added one after the other to that cluster, and that cluster is a digital public ledger. Okay, digital public ledger. Now a blockchain developer is one of the key persons who create the protocol and develop smart contracts. They ensure that the data entered is unaltered. What happened in the share market transactions? What happened in the money market transactions? People by themselves recognize their role, that what is the kind of transaction and what are we supposed to do? What can we do? Can we work as financial advisors? Can we work as like jobbers? Can we work as investors? Can we have shares can we invest in financial consulting agencies? Can we work like that? So people by themselves recognized according to their abilities and what suited them to make maximum profits out of those transactions was to recognize their own roles within the whole chain of transactions. Similar things are happening in the cryptocurrency market, that people, although this is happening completely, this has gone completely virtual. So a blockchain developer is one of the key persons who create the protocol and develops smart contracts. People by themselves have started recognizing their roles, what are they supposed to do and how can they work in the best possible manner, and what roles they can do that. So they ensure that the data entered is unaltered. Depending on the skills, a typical blockchain developer earns about 45 lakhs rupees per annum. Okay, now mining. What is mining? The process of creating is called mining. It pushes new coins into circulation. Do not think what mining so far, where we have read mining as something else, digging the land to extract minerals out of it. We can, that is mining. But now this is being read in terms of blockchain technology. It pushes new coins into circulation for investors to buy and hold. Okay, it is also the validating of information in the blockchain. Bitcoin miners get thousands of dollars for mining a block. Now, people who are pushing new coins into circulation, there have been cases we have seen that people in the share market, they have been pushing shares which were lying defunct. People were reluctant to buy them, but sometimes there were some people who pushed these shares into the market and raised their value somehow. Now that's how people are pushing new coins into circulation for investors to buy and hold. It is also the validating of information in the blockchain. Now, if somebody is pushing new coins into the circulation and he's creating a new sort of transaction within the blockchain technology, this is called mining. Bitcoin miners get thousands of dollars for mining a block. Bitcoin mining can happen in 10 minutes based on the system and the right software, which cost more than the Bitcoin itself. But it takes around 30 days to mine one Bitcoin for a basic design with remarkable GPU and exceptional control. Now, is the process of mining hard? There should be some complexity for the value it holds, else everyone would earn BTC for free. Miners verify the legitimacy of transactions. You need to find a solution for a hard hashing puzzle to successfully mine a block. Okay, it surely damages your computer's GPU. Anybody who can tell me GPU, because I don't have a good idea about GPU. And hardware due to the strain it puts on the system. Some complexity for the value it holds, else everyone would earn BTC for free, and Bitcoins for free. There should be some complexity for the value it holds. The transactions, the process of mining is not as simple as it seems. Like we have just read a paragraph and it was quite easy for me to comment upon it, but that is not so easy in practically. Okay, there should be some complexity for the value it holds. People who are working hard to put new Bitcoins into the circulation, they are working still very hard. That means the process seems to be very complex. The process is very complex, and also the value is also very high. Otherwise, people would earn BTC for free. Miners verify the legitimacy of transactions. You need to find a solution for a hard hashing puzzle to successfully mine a block. It surely damages your computer's GPU and hardware due to the strain it puts on the system. Graphics processing unit by Aditya is telling graphics processing unit. Okay, thank you. Bitcoin mining costs huge amounts of electricity and produces a lot of heat. The process is just a guess of the target hash, the final number. This is very complex. That is the reason for the existence of mining pools. These pools are like a group of miners working on a block to crack and find that target hash. They share profits based on their contributions in finding the solution. Who holds most of the Bitcoin? Now it is like, might any individual or entity. They have just created a name who holds over like 10 lakh Bitcoins. Okay, who holds most of the Bitcoins? It might be any individual or any entity. Like, we cannot ascertain, we cannot have concrete standard measures that who is going to hold that many shares in the share market. This is just like that any individual can hold as much shares as he wants or as much money as he has. So this is just like that any individual or any entity can hold any number of Bitcoins or any value of Bitcoins. Okay. Now, how many Bitcoins exist and how many Bitcoins come out every day? There exists like this much of value: ones, tens, 100,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore. Okay, so 1 crore, 8 lakhs, 89 lakhs, 45,250 Bitcoins in total. On average, 144 blocks are mined every day. So 900 Bitcoins come out. Is Bitcoin impossible to steal? If that's your question, the answer is no. Someone stole over 8,50,000 Bitcoins. In another major hack, over 1,20,000 Bitcoins were stolen in 2016. It is not totally impossible to steal or hack the coins from the system. Now, when you are trading virtually, when you are actually investing money and holding the value virtually, then that means the greater the value, the higher the risk is involved. Okay, the greater is the value, the higher the risk involved. So when you cannot, whatever you are doing virtually, even a simple bank transaction of a very trivial amount is always subject to hacking. Okay, and it is not totally impossible to steal or hack the coins from the system. Okay, now current prices, this is not important. Current prices, scams, different scams. Now different scams might happen in the area of cryptocurrency. Some of them are cryptojacking. Cryptojacking is where a hacker sends a malicious link to a person and clicks it. It leads to installing crypto mining software without the user's knowledge, making the hacker create cryptocurrency from the user's computer. It uses the computing power of the user's computer to mine cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Now these are the kinds of, just like we read, there are so many kinds of scams, there are so many kinds of frauds or cyber crimes we read in cyber law, like phishing, like hacking. There are so many kinds of things that which are defined by the cyber laws or Information Technology Act 2000. Okay, now similar are the cases in cryptocurrencies. In the area of cryptocurrencies, there is one cryptojacking. Cryptojacking is where a hacker sends a malicious link to a person and clicks it. Now there is a malicious link. The hacker is sending some malicious link, a corrupted link to the other person, and the other person is clicking it. Okay. It leads to installing crypto mining software without the user's knowledge, making the hacker create cryptocurrency from the user's computer. Okay, without the user's knowledge, that crypto mining software is installed, making the hacker create cryptocurrency from the user's computer. It uses the computing power of the user's computer to mine cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Now there are so many kinds of softwares which are used to hack the other computers. Okay, like AnyDesk. Okay, what people do, like, this is the most petty example that I can give. Okay, now in normal bank transactions, if normal ordinary people can use AnyDesk to take control of your phones or your laptops or your computer system, that means there might be some other very advanced softwares which can be used in cryptojacking. It leads to installing crypto mining software without the user's knowledge, making the hacker create cryptocurrency from the user's computer. It uses the computing power of the user's computer to mine cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Now, sale fraud. Some dealers in cryptocurrencies commit fraud and steal crypto from the seller. Okay. Some dealers in cryptocurrencies commit fraud and steal crypto from the seller. The fraud and steal crypto from the seller, sale fraud. Okay, now how this sale fraud is committed, like there might be some other ways of committing this sale fraud, but what is important is to know that this is one of the scams that can happen, sale fraud. Some dealers in cryptocurrencies, they commit fraud, like while dealing in the cryptocurrencies, they might, for example, create fake values for the cryptocurrencies and then sell it and then steal it from the seller. Then there are like many things that you can do, like in sale fraud, that the people can do. Now, fake websites. These websites look legitimate and trustable but turn out to be fake the next day. Investors should verify the track record of the website before investing. Many websites work on the same name and steal the currencies you hold. Okay. Now, fake websites, there are a lot of fake websites, not in the only in the cryptocurrency world, but there are a lot of fake websites which are working today. Okay, in the name of so many things. Even there are so many e-commerce shopping websites. Okay, and there are so many fake numbers and fake websites which have been created by their names only to commit frauds, only with the purpose to steal money, with the purpose of committing frauds or defrauding the other persons or defrauding the consumers. Now these fake websites, this is a general thing that is happening in almost every field virtually. So for doing anything, even before applying for any job, one has to satisfy that the website he is exploring or surfing is a genuine website, because this problem is completely unregulated today. Okay, the law enforcement agencies or even the cyber cells, they are not as they are not as I must say on their toes to curb these kinds of menace. Although they can do this, they can apprehend people who are creating these kinds of fake websites. They can be apprehended under the relevant laws. But this is the reluctance of the law enforcement agencies and the reluctance of the cyber cell, which is encouraging such people to create fake websites. Okay, and these websites, these numbers, these customer care numbers, they look legitimate. And exactly that what happens in cryptocurrency world, that these kinds of websites, they look legitimate, they look trustable, but turn out to be fake the next day. Okay, now what is cryptography? Cryptography is derived from Greek cryptos, meaning hidden writing. The word crypto means hidden and graphy means writing. Crypto is a method used to protect information from everyone so that it can only be accessed and processed by the persons intended. Cryptography ensures data privacy. That's what we see in our WhatsApp messages also. They are encrypted. So that is the same word which is used here, encrypted. Okay, encrypted means that your messages are between the two individuals. If you are chatting with someone, that means all those messages are encrypted and only the other person to whom you are sending the messages, that means the sender and the receiver, can only read the message. There is no one in between who can come and hack your messages or read your messages. Okay, this means that the messages are encrypted. The word crypto means hidden and graphy means writing. Cryptography is a method used to protect information from everyone so that it can only be accessed and processed by the persons intended. Cryptography ensures data privacy. There are some essential functions and objectives of cryptography. They are integrity, confidentiality, and authentication. Okay, what is integrity in cryptography? Integrity means being as a whole. The information shouldn't be modified in storage. It should not be altered in any phase during transfer between the sender and receiver. The goal of cryptography is to achieve the integrity of data in the system. That means whatever message you intend to send to the other person, the whole message should be encrypted in a way that it should not be modified in storage and it should not be altered in any phase during transfer between the sender and the receiver. The message that you intend to send should be sent completely in its complete original form. Okay, the goal of cryptography is to achieve the integrity of data in the system. That's how the cryptography ensures integrity. That means being as a whole, unaltered, unamended. Okay, unamended message should be sent. It should be sent in a form in which the sender intends to send it to the receiver. Okay, then comes confidentiality. Confidentiality is keeping the information private, only between the sender and the receiver. The parties should only access the information that is sender and receiver. No third party should access, view, or alter the data. Okay, confidentiality is keeping the information private. Confidentiality is keeping the information private. That's what I told you. Encryption का सबसे important feature है confidentiality. If your messages, if your WhatsApp is telling you that your messages are encrypted, and there is an end-to-end encryption. Okay, not even at your end, neither at your end nor at the receiver's end. Your messages are not going to be stolen or hacked in between on any phase of transition. Okay, confidentiality will be kept right from the very beginning to the very end. Confidentiality is keeping the information private, only between the sender and the receiver. The parties should only access the information that is sender and receiver. No third party should access, view, or alter the data. Okay, no third party should access, view, or alter the data. Confidentiality. Then comes authentication. The information should be authenticated. There can be two types of services in authentication, where there is no alteration of data and the identities of the sender and receiver are confirmed before accessing the data. Okay, the information should be authenticated. There can be two types of services in authentication, where there is no alteration of data and the identities of the sender and receiver are confirmed before accessing the data. Okay, every information needs authentication. ओके सो क्रिप्टोग्राफी में ये चीज़ शायद आपको बाकी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर नहीं मिलेगी. क्रिप्टोग्राफी यूज़ होगी, कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी यूज़ होगी वहाँ पर. यू कैन यूज़ कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, ओके, बट यू कैन नॉट यूज़ एनी authentication. But cryptography is something where authentication is an essential feature of it. The information is always authenticated or should be authenticated. Okay, there is no alteration of data and the identities of the sender and the receiver are confirmed before accessing the data, that the who sent the message and who has received the message. Okay, there is an authentication. There is nothing like that the messages, the unauthenticated messages can be sent by one person to the other. So cryptography is a technology where there is integrity, there is confidentiality, and there is authentication. To understand cryptography, you need to know the types and their work. Cryptography is mainly classified into two types. They are symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. We need to first understand the terms encryption and cipher to understand the basics of key cryptography. Encryption is a process of encoding a plain text, which is understandable for everyone, into a cipher text that can only be decrypted by the concerned receiver. Okay, encryption is a process of encoding a plain text which is understandable for everyone into a cipher text that can only be decrypted by the concerned receiver. Encryption keeps the info safe from the other third parties. It prevents them from accessing and reading the text. Decryption is the decrypting of cipher text back to plain text that the receiver understands. So encryption is that we are coding the plain text which is readable and understandable for everyone. We are coding this into a cipher text which is not readable, okay, but can only be decrypted by the concerned receiver. Okay, so this is an encryption. There is an end-to-end encryption in your social media softwares also. There is an end-to-end encryption. Encryption keeps the information safe from the other third parties. That even in the transition of the message, if somebody is trying to hack the message in between, then it will be encrypted in a encoded words, and it will be very difficult to, decrypt it. Because only the receiver, the concerned receiver, can decrypt such message. It prevents them from accessing and reading the text. Decryption is the decrypting of cipher text back to plain text that the receiver understands. Then, today, most sites use encryption services to protect their data. The Indian government mentioned the encryptions in the draft of the National Encryption Policy 2015, which was later withdrawn. It was withdrawn due to the uncertainty in the provisions. There was an updated version of the policy which was proposed in 2017. The encryption debate is still going on in India. What is a cipher and what are the types of ciphers used in cryptography? Cipher is writing something in a secret language known only to the intended people. It is used in encryption to change the plain text to cipher text. There are several ciphers like Transposition Cipher, Substitution Cipher, and Block Cipher. Now these are the kinds of, only an expert of this field can explain what are Transposition Cipher, Substitution Cipher, and Block Cipher. But cipher for us to understand is writing something in a secret language known only to the intended people. Now there are some coded languages or coded scripts which are used. Only the intended people can decode it and can understand what is that. So cipher is writing something in a secret language. It's just a secret language, and it is used in encryption to change the plain text to cipher text only for the safety purpose, so that if somebody is trying to hack in between, he or the hacker cannot read that message. There are several ciphers like transposition cipher, substitution cipher, and block cipher. Transposition ciphers are used to change the plain text to a serial number. The letters in the text have changed arrangements, making them difficult to understand. For example, the serial number of a 5-letter word can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in plain text. Still, in transposition cipher text, it can be changed to 2, 4, 5, 1, 3. Okay, of a 5-letter word can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in plain text. Now this is putting serial numbers in place of the letters. Okay, now transposition ciphers are used to change the plain text to a serial numbers. The letters in the text have changed arrangements, making them difficult to understand. It's completely jumbled. The letters in the text have changed arrangements. Okay, making them difficult to understand. For example, the serial number of a 5-letter word can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in plain text. Still, in transposition cipher text, it can be changed to 2, 4, 5, 1, 3. We are putting the letters, we are putting the numbers in place of the letters, and that two numbers are jumbled. They are not in the actual sequence in which the composition of letters is making a word. They are simply the jumbled numbers. Okay, they're simply the jumbled numbers. Then substitution ciphers. What are the substitution ciphers? They change the plain text into a randomized letter combination in the cipher text. It contains a fixed system of multiple units. The keyword should be known. For example, if the keyword mentioned is LOL, like we use it, the receiver can only use that keyword to decrypt the cipher text back into plain text. Okay, substitution ciphers change the plain text into a randomized letter combination in the cipher text. It contains a fixed system of multiple units. Now there is a randomized letter combination. There's a plain text, and that plain text is converted into a randomized letter combination in the cipher text. Okay, it contains a fixed system of multiple units. The keyword should be known. The key to it should be known. There is a formula to decode it or to decrypt it. So that means we are using the other letters in place of the actual letters. Okay, we are using it. We are using other letters in place of the actual letters. Like we are using, for example, in place of C, we are using F. Okay, then in place of G, we are using I or any other. That means we have to first decipher the formula for decrypting it, that by what gap the letters have been replaced. The actual letter, in order to find out the actual letter, we have to understand by what gaps the actual letters have been replaced with the new letters. Okay, then block ciphers work on a fixed length blocks of bits like 128, 256 bit encryptions. I'm sure you must have heard about bit encryptions. These are AES Advanced Encryption Standard, or the original name, I cannot pronounce it, sorry. Original name is Rigendile. For example, AES 256 bit encryption. Okay, now there are fixed length blocks of bits like 128, 256 bit encryptions. Now block ciphers is very complicated. Now there are some advanced encryption standard which is used. Transposition ciphers or substitution ciphers are quite simple in order to understand. We can understand transposition ciphers that we are using numbers in place of letters, and that numbers are also jumbled. Then substitution ciphers is that we are using letters in place of actual letters, and these new letters, they have a formula by what gaps or by what differences they have been used. Once that keyword is obtained, we can easily decrypt or decode that message. But block ciphers, they used AES, Advanced Encryption Standards. Now they are giving the example of 128 or 256 bit encryptions. Okay, now what are these bit encryptions can be explained by only an expert or anybody who knows it better than me. But there is something which is an advanced encryption standard. Okay, now it uses an algorithm to encrypt a block of data rather than encrypting them one by one. Now algorithm, a set of questions, one has to go through these algorithms to encrypt a block of data rather than encrypting them one by one, as in substitution and transportation and transposition ciphers. It is hard to break the encryption blocks as it contains numerous combinations. Okay, now WhatsApp, I already gave you this example that a WhatsApp uses 256-bit encryption. Symmetric key cryptography is asymmetric encryption. The system generates a leveraged secret key for both encryption and decryption functions. The same key is used to encrypt and decrypt the text. Symmetric key cryptography is then divided into classic and modern cryptographies. Okay, the same key is used to encrypt and decrypt the text. Symmetric key cryptography is then divided into classic and modern cryptographies. Now this is getting detailed again. Asymmetric key cryptography. Asymmetric key cryptography is encryption in which the system generates a secret key for encryption and a separate private key for decryption. There is an algorithm called RSA which is widely used. In RSA, the sender holds a public key which everyone may not know, but the receiver maintains a private key that is only known to him. The algorithm has bit key sizes like 512, 1024, 2048. Now, asymmetric key cryptography is encryption in which the system generates a secret key for encryption and a separate private key for decryption. That means a separate secret key is used for encrypting the message and a different separate secret key is used for decrypting the same message. So this is asymmetric key cryptography. Okay, what happens in symmetric key cryptography? That system generates a common secret key both for encryption and decryption functions. But what happens in asymmetric cryptography? In asymmetric key cryptography, the encryption uses a secret key for encryption and separate private key for decryption. That is the basic difference between symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Okay, then comes hash functions. No keys are used in the hash function. A plain text gets a fixed hash value because it is almost impossible to crack a hash. It is used to create passwords by website. No keys are used in the hash functions. A plain text gets a fixed hash value because it is almost impossible to crack a hash. It is used to create passwords by websites. Conclusion: cryptocurrencies are virtual currencies available widely in the ecosystem. Though there are 8,000 cryptocurrencies in existence, cryptography and cryptocurrency are still emerging in their abilities. It is important to understand the very essence of cryptocurrencies. Cryptography, the technique used to secure information in a better way, in itself is a never-ending process. Investors' privacy must be the topmost priority and shouldn't be ignored. So it was very complicated and something very new for us. The whole basics, the whole issue regarding cryptocurrencies for us law students to understand is that cryptocurrency, we do not have a statute yet. We do not have a legislation yet that recognizes it, that creates parameters or standards for its regulations, that defines what cryptocurrency is, that explains to us what cryptocurrency is. We do not have a legislation. And this is a completely decentralized virtual asset. Okay, it is a decentralized virtual asset. It is something which is not recognized by a separate legislation or by a separate statute. What is important for us is that the government has given a de facto affirmation and people have been encouraged by such de facto affirmation, but at the same time the tax, by making it a taxable activity, but the tax value added to it is quite high, which is again going to discourage people from investing in the cryptocurrencies, because 30% of the tax value is too high, is too high. And also that cryptocurrencies being not centrally regulated, they are subject to market risk and they are highly risky. So the two factors that are discouraging people from investing much into cryptocurrencies is the 30% tax value and this not being regulated with a centralized agency, it's highly risky. So that is why these are the two factors which are discouraging people. But at the same time, the de facto affirmation by making it a taxable activity has given a boost to the people who wanted to take that risk and invest in the cryptocurrencies. But after reading so many complex definitions, you must have questions, I guess, or perhaps you might have been able to understand it in a better form rather than me, because I could explain you how much I could. That's it. See, shall you are given passages. You are given passages, and the passages are followed by some questions. The questions are like, what is important for you to understand is that this is not a centralized activity. This is not regulated, monitored, or supervised or managed by any central authority. That is the first objective nugget of information that you must remember. Third is that the government has given a de facto affirmation or a de jure affirmation. The government has given a de facto affirmation by taxing it with 30% value. Okay, in the union budget of financial year 2022 to 23. Okay, this not being a centralized agency, this is not being regulated by a centralized agency or any legislation, is highly risky, because this is around the world. Although this we should have some statutory organization or some central authority that regulates its transactions, at least in India. But again, there are a lot of risks, and this is subject to, this is so much vulnerable, this is such a vulnerable field that this is subject to almost every kind of fraud that you can imagine. Okay, so these are the kinds of things. Although this goal of digital India can be furnished by the launch of digital rupee by the RBI. Okay, now this is these cryptocurrencies, they use blockchain technology. What is a blockchain technology? We have already read this in the definition. Okay, now these are the kinds of things like the people used to create subsidiary general ledger or the bank receipts in the money market. The same is going to be created in the blockchain technology virtually. Okay, there's going to be a public ledger, which is again going to be again a decentralized public ledger. There's no central authority is going to maintain all those records. There's going to be a block. After solving the algorithms, once the transactions is confirmed, it will be added one after the other to the blocks, and the blocks will have a cluster of recorded transactions. So that's how the blockchain technology, and it's going to be so transparent that every time it needs a verification. Okay, so that's how the cryptocurrencies are going to work. Okay, and that's how, these are the kinds of basic informations that you must remember. That's it. Anything else? No questions, no discussions, nothing to add. Okay, then I'm ending the live stream now. Hope to see you tomorrow with another topic.